Well, I didn't think I'd be able to top my last video where I had a huge amount of comics in my last comic haul, but this time, I gotta say, thicker. More right after the intro. Hey everyone, welcome to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more, and welcome to another episode of Comic Haul number 16, coming right at you with more comics to share with you. And I got some really special ones. Today is going to be a Daredevil and Jessica Jones theme, with a little bit of Spider-Man and so forth. So let's start with the first one without further ado. Number 1, this is Spider-Man number 317, the first Spider-Man comic to feature Todd McFarlane's art of Venom. So, very special comic, love it. Haven't read it yet though, and if I have, I probably don't remember because I read comics like this before in the past. Prior to collecting comics, I used to read comics online. So, yeah. Number 2, The Amazing Spider-Man number 327. This one caught my eye. It's really interesting to see mutants mixed with classic Marvel characters like Spider-Man. Because every time I think about mutants, despite them being a part of the same Marvel continuity in the Marvel Universe, mutants really do feel separated. And I don't know if it's because of Fox, but I feel like mutants in general in the Marvel Universe can be a class of its own, and it's been proven otherwise with the movies. But it's just something so intriguing about seeing a character that's not a mutant like Spider-Man facing off a mutant. It almost feels like a crossover, technically, even though it's in the same universe. But they still call them crossovers when characters in the same universe cross over in one comic. But still, it's really interesting, and I want to see who tops who in this comic book. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man number 327. And again, featuring Todd McFarlane art. I think my favorite artist of all Spider-Man drawers is Spider-Man artists, excuse me. Aside from Alex Ross, because I love the way he draws superheroes in general, and he makes them look really realistic. So yeah, get this one. Next up, if you've been watching my comic hauls, then you know that I featured a lot of Jessica Jones and a lot of Daredevil. I've been reading a lot of Jessica Jones. I have read Alias. I just don't have the novel or any of the trade paperbacks with me, but I did read them online. And if you're a fan of the show of Jessica Jones, the opening of the episode 1 in Jessica Jones opens up almost exactly like the opening of Alias. So I picked up Jessica Jones number 1. These are the recent ones. These are the 2016, 2017 ones. I picked up Jessica Jones number 1. I believe this is a variant edition where it shows a figure along with a camera, the wigs, the mask that she wore, and everything else on there. So Jessica Jones number 1. And not only did I pick them up because the covers are very appealing and they look beautiful, but because their stories are amazing, and I love Jessica Jones stories. It's a very gritty, realistic. It has this really gritty, realistic tone to them in the comics, and it almost feels like you can relate to them. If you're having a bad day or you experience some dramatic moments in your life. The character of Jessica Jones is very relatable to those who have hardships in their life, in their daily life. And that's what I like about Jessica Jones. She's really real. She's not your typical superhero. And not everything's perfect and handy-dandy all sunshine and rainbows for her. And I'm not saying that it's like that for every superhero. They have their hardships, but it's not as fun as Jessica Jones. Because she's very traumatized and she goes through a lot of crap. So Jessica Jones number 2 right here. And then Jessica Jones number 3. Again, I love the oil water painting of these covers. They're just beautiful to look at. They're gorgeous. And then number 4, again, purple seems to be the ongoing theme with Jessica Jones. And part of the reason why is because Purple Man plays a huge part in these comics. So Jessica Jones number 4. This is one of my favorite covers of Jessica Jones. And then number 5. Of course, I'm skimming through these. Sorry about that. I'm just skimming through them because, you know, I'm not going to go into detail of each and every individual comics. I have like about maybe 20 odd comics right here to go through in this comic haul, so it's one of my biggest comic hauls of all time. So yeah, Jessica Jones number 5, gorgeous cover. I can't decide which one's my favorite. So far, I do like number 16, number 13, I believe, and then number 4, and then here's number 6. I love those. I just love this one too. This one's gorgeous. It has Luke Cage in the background. So yeah, Jessica Jones, pick them up. The series is about to end shortly. I think till like number 20 or so, but it's about to end like I think the end of this month or the beginning of next month. So it's a little depressing that it's going to end because I had a lot of fun with that series. And then I finally finished my collection of the Murdoch papers. I think a couple of comic haul, you know, videos ago, if that makes any sense, I feature the Murdoch papers, but I only feature like 2 of them. I finally got the entire collection. I'm gonna read them. This is the Marvel Knights run of Daredevil. And for those of you who don't know what Marvel Knights is, Marvel Knights is kind of like an outside universe of the original Marvel 616 continuity. It's supposed to be catering to teenagers to adults, and it sort of brings this edgier twist to Marvel characters. And it was only Marvel Knights printed stories for only a select few of Marvel characters like Daredevil, the Punisher, Ghost Rider, Black Panther, and Deadpool, and then another character. There's like 5 or 6 of them only. And Marvel Knights kind of gave this realistic tone to these characters, made it edgier, made it very gritty and dark, and you can tell from the covers that, you know, these characters do have a realistic look to them. The Murdoch Papers is supposed to be a huge, you know, thing for Daredevil season 3. Inspirations being drawn from this storyline. This is the Murdoch Papers number 77. No, I'm sorry, my brother mixed it up. Here's number 76, excuse me. It starts off with 76. You got the Kingpin right there, and I believe you have, I don't think that's Matt Murdock, that's, what's his name? That works for the paper. I'm drawing a blank here, sorry guys. But I just love the way these comics are drawn for Marvel Knights. They just have this realistic look to them, and it's very edgy. You can tell it's very dark. It's not suitable for children, so. And then 77, of course, you saw that. And then here's number 78. And then this is one of my favorites from the Murdoch Papers, number 79. I actually managed to get 2 copies of them. I'm crazy like that. I forgot I even had one. But this is 79. This is my favorite out of all the Murdoch paper covers. This has got a bloodied Matt Murdock in the front cover of Daredevil. And then here's number 80. I believe that's Elektra, obviously, and I don't know who that is. I think that's Jessica. I don't think that's Jessica Jones. That's somebody else. I can't remember. I think that's Karen Page or something. I don't know. And then finally, Daredevil number 81, Marvel Knights, the conclusion of Murdoch Papers. So there's that one. And then here we have Born Again. It starts off from 227 and ends at 231. It doesn't say Born Again on top of this, but this is where the story starts. And this is Daredevil number 227. This is where the Kingpin learns of Daredevil's true identity. So it's a great book, and it's scripted by Miller. So Frank Miller fan right over here. He writes the greatest stuff. During the Frank Miller era, that's when Daredevil started to get very gritty and dark than your usual like happy-go-lucky, fun superhero comics. So definitely read this storyline. I do have the trade paperback now, and I also have the graphic novel version. So you can read either one. And then here's 228 that follows up from that. And you can tell that this is a first print because of the logo on the bottom. Back in the day, they used to feature like, you know, an image of a superhero's face, like usually Captain America or Spider-Man. Spider-Man image meant that this comic came from a comic book shop. And then if it had the barcode, it would come from like newspaper stands or 7-Eleven gas stations and stuff like that. So that's how you were able to distinguish between those two comics. So it's a fun fact. This is an original. These are originals, excuse me, all of them. Here's another original. This is Daredevil Born Again, number 230. This story, the season 3 of Daredevil is going to borrow heavily from this storyline, featuring the Nun, which is the mother of Daredevil. So, see? This is beautiful. It's just amazing. I feel so good holding such amazing comics like this. You know how hard it is to find comics like this? Like it. I've been to multiple comic shops around my area, and it was so hard for me to find comics like this. You can never find them in a bin. Every time I'm going through like a Daredevil bin, like I see all of them, and then when I start getting to like to the 200s, it's skipping over. So, like I miss them. Like they're not there, and it's so sad. I'm like, damn it, it's not there. And I always ask, please, do you have any? Can you check in the back? And they don't have them, but I ended up finding it in one of the comic shops that I go to. The only problem is that it's so far to drive to, but I have the patience because I have a passion for collecting comic books, and I found them, and they actually had more than one copy. So I was like, oh, this is great. It's called Tates, by the way, so if you ever heard of a Tates, or if there's a Tates in your area, go check out those comic shops. They're amazing. And then here's the conclusion of Born Again, number 231, right here. So yeah, this one's awesome. Definitely buy the Born Again storyline from Daredevil. And then finally, to conclude, on that note, I found this bad boy. This is the first issue of The Flash from the New 52 era. I got it because, one, the cover looks amazing, and two, I'm a fan of The Flash. Gotta have it. It's a staple in comic books. So yeah, The Flash, number 1, first print, original, New 52 era. And with that being said, that concludes my comic haul number 16, everybody. Big haul today. Loved it. So what did you think of it? Let me know in the comment section below. What comics do you like? What comics have you collected? Are you a collector? If so, would you recommend any comics for me to own? Let me know in the comment section below. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next comic panel.